Hello there. Welcome to our podcast. As you have heard about the title, which means Between the Rock and the Hard Place, is our story, and we want to welcome you and we want you to engage with us. We want to interact with you and we want to share our story and much, much more to come. Here is my wife Vilma. My name is Erasmo. You can call me Raz. And we are here with this podcast number one. And the question is, let me ask you something. What would you do when life puts you in a place you never asked to be and there's no way out? It's not a pretty place to be, isn't it? And that's the questions that we put to ourselves, and we've been put to ourselves, and we don't have all the answers. We're trying to gather facts together, and we're trying to learn with all this uh, so-called odyssey that we're going through. And here we're going to share a little bit of my experience, and my wife is going to also share her story and how he affects her and how he affects all of us. And we would like to have you participate. You can subscribe to our channel. We appreciate those who watched the pilot, the first 2 minutes that we put out. And it's been an honor to see that some people have engaged and some people have even subscribed to our channel. We appreciate that. And we pray that you will be uh, taking this ride with us as long as it takes. And we welcome you. Thank you so much.
I think so. That's a great idea to invite the people. I don't know how many of you are facing issues like this, but I think that where we want to begin, right? It would be that day that we were at the doctor's office and the doctor told us, I have done everything I can for you, and we're going to have to go to a different option. Of course, we will share that in a later episode. But right now, today, we just want you to get to know who we are and having issues with the heart. As you saw at the beginning of this video, the statistics are there. As a woman, I was very surprised that it's the number one killer for us girls, because we do not know or recognize many symptoms that are really a heart issue, and we confuse it, I guess, because we just don't know. And one of the things is that we promise we're going to make our best effort to get as much information as we can to share with you. And I hope it become very helpful. And also, I am very proud of my husband, because when he got that news, he could embrace depression. But after we got the news that the doctor told him that he had done everything that he could, of course, it was hard. It was difficult. But after we came home, he took a walk. He came back home and he said to me, I'm going to do a podcast about my situation. Of course, I looked at him and thought that he went crazy. So I took a walk. And after a while, I realized that we don't know where this is going to go. We don't even know if it's going to be fruitful. But I'm very proud of him for trying to put his mind into something more productive than to put himself in a corner and just make himself sicker because he doesn't know in which direction to go. So I think that it would be great that you would share as we go, and I can give some input as the caregiver. You know, sometimes the people look at the patient and what's going on, but they overlook the caregiver, the things that I think that has helped us to feel comfortable enough to want to do this, and we see where it goes.
And one thing I can say, it's very, very important to have a relationship and not to be alone. And most of all, to have a person that cares about you and that, like you could feel in her voice that this has affected her also. She has been there with me through thick and thin, and it's been a long road, not only through all this situation, but also through our marriage and many other things that we've been through that we might share in the future. And as you know, couples have their ups and downs, and we learn as we go. And as somebody said one time, I heard this somewhere, you have to love your partner in the stages that they are in. So when you fall in love when you're young, you know, it's all that love story, and you have to learn how to love that person as they change. And we all changed. For those of you who know us for a long time, or even was in our marriage, in our wedding, we have changed. So not only physically, but we have learned a few things here and there. We have gone through so many things, but this one is the far the most strongest issue that we're going through. And I know what I'm gonna say. It might be a little bit harsh, but I feel like I'm, I'm not saying I'm a criminal, but when a criminal is condemned to death row, it takes 20, 30 years until they execute them. And I don't know how long this is going to take. My doctor tells you you're not going to die from this, but I don't know. We're going to die someday. So, but I would love to live to the fullest. To, like my wife says, I don't want to dwell on it and be tucked in a corner. And I want to be also an example to other folks, if I may. I don't know if I have that honor or not. I might, be that person to you, and you might be that person to me. I would love to hear your stories, people that already have been through this, family members or any others that you can
Please do,
yeah.
especially somebody who's been there. And I would love input as a caregiver. And definitely, if you have been walking this journey, if you have overcome, or if you know of someone who has overcome, please do share. And one of the main things that I am really looking forward is exactly that, the input of many. Because sometimes you go and you're so blessed that you have great doctors, but then you don't know what questions to ask the doctor. And if you give us heads up, we are more prepared, and we would know what exactly to look for, what are we doing. And for those of you who are caregivers and you might be exhausted, let me tell you something. What's the battery and the mindset behind me? To, like he said, to be besides him. It's been that we've been married for now going on 34 years. And think about it. When you've been married that long, here you have your husband who gave you his youth, and he's been with you. And when you take those vows, it says, in sickness and in health, and you can just bail out. And not because you don't want to, but because it's a commitment. And when you made that commitment and you honor it, things seems to work out better because you gave it your best. And you don't have to be perfect. That's the good thing. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be committed. And you learn alone, and you just come along as well. And my God, if you have any tips, in the next podcast we are going to tell you what really took place, and
in more detail.
Yes, and the steps we're taking.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to make this podcast too long. We want you to be able to share it, and to definitely hang out with us if you can, because I know there's a lot of people that are not as blessed to have somebody besides them, whether you are the patient or whether you are the caregiver. Because even though your family loves you, Sometimes they have a life of their own, or they live far from you, and keep us company, and we will keep you company. And we are blessed. We have friends and we have family that is checking on us. But if you don't, I hope you welcome us as your friends and as your family.
And also, the what it entails about work. For those of you that know me, I used to do physical work and no longer am able to do so. So all those things that affect us and the finances, and I'm too young to be retired legally, whatever that entails. But other things and details.
That will be for the next podcast. That's
Yeah.
a perfect.
But we're just
hang.
giving you tips,
Yeah.
where we at and how is affecting us, and
Mhm.
how we are maneuvering through this,
Yes.
and also if you have any tips for us as we speak about this, we want your engagement. We want you to participate with us, and we want to be family here. We want this family to be an extension to you, for you to grab the concept and be here with us. Of course, we're gonna make mistakes, and we are just here throwing ourselves out there to talk about this and to deal with this. And you might look at us and say, "Hey, these guys are healthy," and I might look good on the outside, but there's diagnosis of not so good things about the inside. But I am, for all we have right now, I am so thankful for what I got. I got this woman right next to me. I could not ask for a better company. And to deal with issues that we are dealing right now, this is not easy. This is something that we have to deal with day in and day out. And sometimes I know that she can tell you, and there is hardship, whether it's physical, mentally, and psychologically. It's a lot to digest when you have this issue. And like I had heart surgery before, and I was ready to have it again, but then they tell me there's nothing we can do.
And we'll get into that in the next one.
Exactly.
So we're going to leave you with this word of encouragement. In reality, when you say, how do you hang on, and what is your base for looking towards the future? Well, this is how I look at it. My husband just told you he is a hard worker. Since the day I know him, I think this guy doesn't, to take vacation is like you gotta beg him because he loves to work. He's a workaholic. And he always got me concerned because I never wanted to get that call that something unfortunately happened at his work site, especially in construction. And in the next episode, we're going to share with more details why. So we believe in God. We are incredibly thankful, believe it or not, in this situation, because no matter how much time he has left, God has given us the opportunity to make decisions together. I did not have to have that call that somebody found him somewhere. And that's what I beg God all the time. And he has granted me that desire. So some of you might be angry with God and say, why, see, this is the thing I don't understand. Why God allows these things to happen? And the question should be, why not? Because at the time when that happens, that's when you find out how much you really, really know God. And I'm going, not to get preachy, I only gonna leave you on this thought. There's a huge difference between a relationship and a religion ritual. When you know God.
Well, it's like this. It's a triangle. It's me and my wife, and it's going up to God. That's a triangle. So we have a third person in the mix.
Yes.
And we don't make decisions without consulting God. You say consulting God, how you do that?
By prayer.
We pray. and we speak to God, and we seek Him, and He will speak to us through the Word, and whatever situation.
This is an example. When you pray to God and you says, Lord, please don't let me get a phone call that something way beyond my abilities happened to my husband. And God granted that. Due to his diagnosis, he's here by a miracle. And we're going to get into that as well. And that's why I don't think we would be with this peace that passes all understanding if he would not be the cornerstone that we stand on. So I hope it encourages you, and we be able to encourage you to see God in a different light. And if somebody hurt you, I ask you for forgiveness, because the God I know loves you, as He says in John 3:16. And God so loved the world,
And He gave His only begotten Son,
that whoever should believe in Him
shall have everlasting life. So we don't want to make this a religious, we want to make it a relationship with God. And that's what we try to apply to ourselves, and we are no better than anybody else. We just are just human beings. We can, you can ask my wife, she knows all my faults. And she can write a book about it, and I might do the same thing, vice versa. But this is not the idea about, making right or wrong about each other or about the situation. It's about making it right with the one that gives us the direction and guidance. So you need guidance to go to war. You need a general to fight your war. So our general is the man above. So we just don't want to make that this
I
a
really don't like that term, the man above. How about our Father, our Father?
He's above. I know. He's not down below. He's above everything. But
Our Heavenly Father.
this is something that also I feel for those who are in worse off situation than we are. I know that I'm, in the situation we're in, we're privileged. Look at our house. We're blessed. And I know that a lot of people are going through worse things that we are going through the hospital, seeing people that are in worse shape than I am. And I am thankful that I am where I'm at, and the medical support that I have, and living in America. I am blessed to be here in America. I was not born here, but I chose to be an American, and I am thankful to be in America. And I am glad that I can share this with you and be in the situation I'm at. And I am blessed. We are blessed.
Yep. So stay tuned, because we'll be back.
So we ask of you to be participants on this, and we want you to be interactive. And if you want to deal with this situation in a manner that you can even enlighten us in certain ways, and your expertise, and whether you're in the medical field or finances or anything else, because this is a lot of changes that we're going through, as you're gonna know. We're gonna give you more details, and we would like for you to subscribe to the channel. And even if you haven't seen what you want to see, or felt like, oh, this is not for me, stay tuned. We're gonna give you a lot.
I bet you somebody out there is saying, he never said how old he is. 60 years old. This is what makes this so terrible. He's so young. You were not expecting this. And that's what we're going to talk about. On to the next one.
But I had my heart attack, first heart attack ever.